And Disco, we're up, man. So what's popping? I like that fleece, by the way.
No, but so I was in the Northwest, remember? So I went out to Portland, Oregon. I lived there for about 10 years after leaving Christiansburg and Blacksburg. And so this is the Columbia. Yeah, you can see here. This is the Columbia. It's very light. It's very nice, but look at these colors. And that's something I wanted to talk about to you as well a little bit. Why can't Nike figure out what our color scheme is for uniforms? The maroon is always a little too purple or a little too deep. The orange is never quite right. You know what I'm saying? Why can't they get our shit right?
Um, I don't know. Good question, my brother. I mean, I guess they always change that shit up. Who knows?
That's the
Who
most
knows? Kids in
non-answer.
sweatshops, they're not too good with colors. They work in the dark. They're like, I think this is it.
Close.
It's close enough.
But remember, like during the Tyrod Taylor era, we were getting some uniforms from Nike. They were really lighting us up, and we were getting some cool shit. Remember the Pro Combat, the black uniform plus the white uniform. We
The
haven't
black
had
ones are
any.
dope.
The white ones are pretty cool too. I mean, they had but I mean, they just left us in the dust, bro. Nike
Man,
just moved on.
it looks so crazy behind me. What's up, everybody, man? It's 140 Cactus, bro. This is not the official podcast. This is as you can see, 140 quicks. From Top G to Top Ramen. I got my boy Matt in here. We're gonna talk about Andrew Tate. Some of y'all don't like him, some of y'all do. I mean, fuck it.
But it should be talked about, I think, right?
I think people should get the facts straight, like that he didn't get in trouble for like sex trafficking is money laundering. Now the sex trafficking shit happened a while ago that they tried to charge him with, and I think people are trying to put that back on him. Just like when OJ got in trouble, he got in trouble for stealing this shit, but people couldn't wait to throw the murder shit up. So
Yeah, but OJ was not on camera admitting to doing certain things. A lot has come out in some recent events of people going back into Andrew Tate videos and Andrew Tate interviews and pulling out him describing exactly what he's being charged with. Now, the gray area comes in where we talk about what is a good opportunity for a young lady and how does that all of a sudden turn into human trafficking. And a lot of times that gets diced up into whether you're allowed to leave or not. Are you being held against your will? And I think that's actually what this case is coming down to. It's more so, can they prove anyone was held against their will? Because he's admitted to running a webcam. He's admitted to running OnlyFans accounts. He's admitted to a lot of these things on camera. So we know that he's in that type of business. But is it trafficking or not is the question.
preying on men's horniness and getting $1 out of them, I have no problem with.
Me neither. Me neither. I think that if you willingly sign up for this and you are the type of man who is lonely enough to spend that type of money, then you're willing to be exploited, and that's totally okay in a free capitalist society.
Is
I'm
that not
totally
the
cool.
American way?
I agree, and it's more than the American way. I would say that's happened in the world over time. But did he cross the line? Is the question? They've already seen some of his assets.
Not his Bugatti.
No,
my favorite Bugatti.
The policeman showed up. It doesn't matter what color it is. We're taking it.
Not the Bugatti. I got 23 supercars and 2 Bugattis. I hate that fucker. How he says that shit.
But I have actually struggled recently with some mental health issues. I've been locked in the house. I work from home and I do well. I do fine. I don't have like real reasons to complain, but I've been struggling a little bit. And a lot of the stuff that Andrew Tate had put out really kind of helped me. I've been in the gym in the house and just kind of, working out a little bit, kind of getting my things together and doing a lot of the lessons that he was speaking about very heavily during his reign, if you will. But now all of this comes out about the other side of things, and it becomes difficult to talk to your girl about how am I bettering myself as a man? What as men, who are who are the role models? Who could we really look to and say they're speaking for us right now? Because I feel like men are being a bit marginalized, which feminists will say would be funny, right? Oh, no, 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 no. Men have had a patriarchy forever, whatever. But we're talking about today, tomorrow. As a man in this country, how do I move forward? And no one was really speaking to that until Andrew Tate happened.
Well, in the words of my old co-host Joey, they're trying to turn men into bitches, bro.
I
Now,
agree.
Andrew Tate, as far as his message goes, he did say some shit that's really like hit the nail on the head. But I think just people don't like the way he went about it, all the flamboyant shit and bragging, and you guys is nerds, and I'm rocking Armani. That kind of turns some people away. But if you can separate the bullshit from the message, he's really motherfucking spitting.
For sure. And so I would relate this right back to you. So everything in his message wasn't wrapped over beats, but would you say that hip hop also completely personifies exactly what Tate was talking about? But they do it cleverly over beats, and it's easier to be consumed as opposed to an alpha male yelling at you about how you're a loser. But a lot of the things that he's talking about are also major components in hip hop music.
Yeah, they're major, but I mean that's the flamboyant shit. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit nowadays in music. You either fucking somebody's hoe or taking a perk. Like there is no in between.
No, for sure, right? But so the lines get blurred, like who gets canceled and who doesn't. Because if you go down the line, so Andrew Tate is a mixed race dude. He's half white, half black. We would know a lot of people in our personal circles, me and you both, and then even in the hip hop circles. At what point do you stop canceling? So you can cancel somebody over the statements they make on a TikTok or an Instagram post as a mixed race individual, but you can't cancel something that somebody says in the music realm.
No, you can cancel people. People get canceled over lyrics.
Canceled or indicted?
Both. I think when you get indicted, everything's canceled. Ain't no more tours after that, nigga. Everything's gone. But I mean,
and YSL is going through their thing right now. So
yeah. But
and
I
we
mean,
don't want to
Andrew
get too
Tate,
deep.
I think all the vitriol comes from him. Is just he's just flashy about it, and a major word that a lot of females will want to hear is that he tried to hold females accountable, which not many motherfuckers do in this day and age. They
Right.
just let them go on with the bullshit.
For sure. But
Now,
does it hurt the message moving forward? Because I agree with what you're saying. Men have been marginalized in society, and especially when spitting game or trying to have a relationship with a woman. What you're saying is exactly true. And a lot of folks took that message from Andrew Tate. Now, if he's convicted
I
of
mean, Andrew Tate. I mean, let's
human
just clear this up.
trafficking,
Andrew Tate didn't speak for me. I've never had a problem talking to a female, so he didn't really. Some shit he said, I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but it's like you don't really. Your
okay,
message isn't for my ears. It's for everybody on the computer who's stuck in fucking the internet and can't get out of it. It's
right,
not hard to talk to women. He was just basically being like, be confident, get a Bugatti, wear Armani, like all this nut shit. Like the message is pure. I mean, shit, people still listen to R. Kelly. You should be able to separate the artist from whatever they're doing. Oh shit, I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. All right, so you should be able to just separate the artist from the bullshit. Is
I
his message
agree.
pure? Yes. But is he also going through some bullshit at the same time? Yes. Just because he's going through some bullshit should not take away from what this nigga has said at the end of the day.
Say to you is, and this is a deep question, maybe for the audience, maybe folks could chime in with their answer. But it's a wedding. You're invited. You show up. You're at the part where everybody likes, where everybody drinks and has some food. Remix to Ignition
What's going
is
on?
still
Oh Lord.
Remix to Ignition is still a completely acceptable wedding song, right?
Nigga, what?
So no. So here I'm saying this right now. So you already had the invite to your friend's wedding. It's a month from now. You show up to the wedding. You sit through 20, 30 minutes of ceremony. You get into the thing where you can take your jacket off, and then you can have a drink and maybe eat some food, the entree that you chose. And it comes time for the dancing time, and they put on Remix to Ignition. What is that still acceptable or no?
Yeah, but that's always gonna get played at black weddings, barbecues, funerals, nigga. Niggas will step in the name of love at any given moment. We're not any black person saying they don't listen to R. Kelly can kiss my ass on Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah, but
like
he has too much of a catalog, and
yeah,
honestly,
like
he just wasn't current enough to get the Chris Brown treatment. Um, where Chris Brown is still allowed, very much. Maybe stepping in a little chocolate factory, but Ignition, a little freaky for a wedding. Okay, Danica, I hear you, girl. I hear you.
yeah, step in
Actually,
the name of love, definitely. Yeah.
but on to the Tate stuff. So he had a very particular thing that still resonates with me, regardless of his allegations. And I want to know what the chat and what you think about this as well. So he doesn't believe in depression. He thinks depression is a figment of the mind, which in definition, maybe it probably is, right? But he goes on to say, if you have one man to sleep in a haunted house and another man to sleep in a haunted house, both are equal. One believes in ghosts, the other one does not believe in ghosts. They go into their separate haunted houses. The gentleman in the haunted house who's afraid of ghosts is always going to jump and be afraid every time the wind blows. But the gentleman in a haunted house who does not believe in ghosts will just say, "Oh, it's just a branch. I'm going back to sleep." I actually kind of believe that about depression. What do you think about that?
Um Shitty analogy, Andrew Tate, but I get the message. So are you referring to when he said he got himself out of depression or he can't be depressed or some shit? Are you alluding to that video?
Well, there's a bunch of videos, but basically, his basic overall point of view is he doesn't believe in depression, and he uses specific analogy to talk about why. One man is in a haunted house and believes in ghosts. The other man doesn't believe in ghosts. He's in the same haunted house.
I mean, I don't mean to sound like this guy, but I'm pretty sure Andrew Tate is pretty depressed now with where the fuck he's at. I don't know much about Romanian prison, but I'm sure there's no
It doesn't
it's not
sound nice.
yeah, Romania, nigga, that's close to Transylvania, nigga. Dracula and them is there, nigga. I'm just saying. No,
It,
Andrew
it
Tate is definitely not uneducated. That's
Yeah,
nah.
no, I think he's actually very educated. But that doesn't mean he's not stupid from time to time. That's
Yeah. The
that's a
whole
big
depression
misconception.
thing, like, I mean, I can see it. It's just everybody can get depressed. It just depends on who's strong willed enough to get through it, and then who's gonna get
For
eaten
sure.
alive by the monster. So I
But
mean, I feel that.
the mentality behind it though, right? So every person who lives is going to wake up depressed at some point or another. You're going to feel more negative one day than you do the other.
Yeah.
But it's your mentality behind how you tackle that. So someone who agrees to being clinically depressed would say, "Oh, this is out of my control. I'll take a pill and I'm going to function my way through my day like that." Someone who is anti that would say, "I need to do something more positive to affect my day. Maybe you start your workout a little bit earlier. Maybe you do anything." But giving power over something is a difficult conversation. And I think he was speaking to that, and that's why he has so many fans. But if is found guilty of this, all of that is over.
Well, all I know is when he goes to court, he better be smiling. He better not be depressed for shit. Oh yeah, then it will be over. He better be like, yes, I'm in good spirits. It's the Matrix. They stole my fucking Bugatti. Like, I just hope he's in good spirits. But as far as
um,
depression, I mean, everybody goes through shit, bro. But I mean, he's not saying nothing that most people's dads haven't told him. Like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. He just spins it in a way that's his own way of saying that.
yeah, but some of us are more skilled at doing that. And there's a large contingent of men in this country, I think, that um, don't understand that or don't feel that way, and they need someone to look to do that. And other than Andrew Tate, and God forbid if he's accused of these things and he is found guilty of these things, somebody and everybody, I think, has to stand up for men a little bit and say, hey, you can't lose us in this contingency because the world is getting crazy and men are going to be necessary. Do you think, other than Andrew Tate, could you name maybe a contemporary male icon?
Oh, like for dudes to look up to? Fuck no. All right, now I
It's
mean Kevin Samuels was good, but people talk
yeah,
shit about Kevin Samuels and he passed away. But if you look at Kevin Samuels' message, similar message, but he was actually spitting. Like people just take the clips of him asking bitches they dress size and saying they look like
but he
shit.
was spitting the truth
Yeah, but
though a lot of time.
there's nothing that he said that was out of pocket. It's really take it how you want to. People again just don't want to face the accountability of the shit he was saying. But there is no
And
Kevin Samuels no more. There is no Andrew Tate. I feel like from now on, if there is some dude that steps up and is all for male and not being on this simp shit, they are gonna get silenced. Because right now it's I hate to say they're letting a lot of hoes run rampant, which is cool. Everybody loves hoes, but at some point you got to check them. Ain't there's nobody out here to check these hoes, man. The fucking hoes don't run the brothel, the pimp do, or the madam.
well, regardless, at the end of the day, the roads you walk on were built by men. Um, Feminism jumps out of the window immediately when anything difficult needs to be accomplished, whether that's plowing the sidewalk or changing a tire.
Oh
So
no, continue.
there's a lot of things that men are good at and women are good at. And another message from Andrew Tate was the bishop and the knight are worth the same points if they're taken off the chessboard, but they have different roles and responsibilities, but they're worth the same points. So when you
Mhm.
talk about equality or all of these things, I think the part of the reason why our society is sort of like driven down a little bit is that men have stopped being men and then women have stopped being women, and like we've forgotten what we're good at together. And is that too conservative of me to say? Is that cancelable? Is that a
Nah,
difficult thing to talk about?
not at all. I mean, I definitely agree with Sid. The whole men versus women shit, like that shit is getting driven into the ground. You look at every Facebook reel, you're gonna see 5 different clips from 5 different podcasts of a bunch of dudes who never got pussy till they got to college, talking to a bunch of hoes, and they're
Yeah.
just trying to find level ground, and it's never gonna happen. But
Hmm.
I feel like the disconnect now between men and women is worse than what it's ever fucking been. You been on
And,
Twitter lately and seen the shit that these
oh,
motherfuckers say?
oh, for sure. And I think the rhetoric, and it goes actually beyond like the men and women nuclear family conversation into like a lot of our lives, being even politics or music or anything. Everything is very polar. It's it's you're here or you're there, and they are refusing to see the gray area, which I would think would be the most important part of life, right? Is the gray part. Um, where people come together and ideas meld, and that's kind of where we get good things. But it seems to me that you can't do that anymore. And um, I think males are being widely marginalized by society, even though we're the ones who built the railroads, the roads. We we've done a lot of things, and so to marginalize manhood in this time, I think is a, a tough thing they're trying to accomplish. Do you think that at all, or
I mean, again, I think they are trying to turn dudes into bitches with the things that they do, the things that they put out. Uh, Look, I love women to death. Don't take this wrong. No matter how many fucking Steve Harvey books you read of Think Like a Man, Fuck Like a Hoe, whatever the fuck it's called, it's just not. It just is what it is. Women do something dope that men can't do. Give birth. Y'all own that title over men. Why can't men own the title of what we do? Why does it have to be a cross? Why do you have to prove to us that you can do what we do? Of course you can do what you can do what we do. The question is, do you want to do what we do?
That's true. And
That's
so that goes back to the argument of like if we were all stranded on an island, it was 10 men, 10 women. We would very naturally revert back to our gender roles if it meant survival. So
nah.
it's
I'm gonna
like
kick my feet up. I'm gonna make them hoes build a house, nigga. Fuck that. Fuck
no,
that.
no, 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 no. What you would be doing is helping to hunt, fish, do the things that men do.
Yeah.
And the women would be building the home and getting the kitchen together. But that
But this is just a testament to how comfortable we are now in America that we've got to this point. This is how easy we fucking have it made. So now we have to argue about role reversal.
yeah, which it shouldn't be because again, I love women. There's actually nothing more beautiful in this world to me than women.
Than a woman,
W-
exactly.
Women have a superpower a man could never touch. Women are in a realm of their own and probably the most perfect beings on this planet, in my opinion. But that doesn't affect my opinion of who should do this job and who should do that job. I think it's there's something in between there that we're getting confused on. And I think that if you have the takes that me and you are talking about right now, some of them would say we hate women or we want to oppress them, or it would be this weird conversation when it doesn't have to be. It's just, I love you so much. I don't want you to have to touch that door. I'm going to open it for you.
Yeah. But nowadays, when you do that, it's I can open the door my fucking self. Like, okay, bitch, open it.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's
but
like,
then chivalry's dead.
yeah, but chivalry was actually important. And there were parts of chivalry that were oppressive. If you go back and you look at some things, you're like, okay, well, maybe we wouldn't treat women that same exact way as it was in the history books. But if I
How are
open the
men
door,
women's biggest haters? That's that. We'll get to that. Matt, you finish. That can't be far from the truth. Men cannot be women's biggest haters because during COVID, everything
no,
was down and the strip club stayed open.
I agree. No, I agree with her in the sense of this that men are your biggest haters right now because we're being pushed in a way that's making us retaliate. And so, because you haven't experienced that before, it seems like we're hating on you the most when it's really, we're just saying, hey, this is the role that I want to fill. And society is telling you that you don't need that. And I'm fighting with that because I care about you so much. And then, so it's a whole different thing than just a simple men are our biggest haters. No, men are your biggest lovers. We love women
A lot of men
big
root
time.
for women.
I root for women. I still watch women's basketball games. I'm wearing this Virginia Tech um, pullover right now. I watch every single women's basketball game.
Yeah,
I
I cheer
root.
for that layup line every time I catch it on ESPN 8 to Ocho. You go,
no,
girl.
but no, but you feel like I love women. I think
Yeah,
women
we
are the
love
most.
women though. There's no this. It's just this new generation that has this problem.
Yeah, and but
Our generation, men and women got along. We was at the parties together. We it was almost that was probably the like from 70s to our generation, men and women were
we were
together, and then
we
I don't
struggle with
know.
this, Jordan, because we were the last.
Yeah, we were definitely the last.
We were the
Definitely.
last. So when we exited of that party phase or our young phase, when we interact with a lot of young women, we interact with a lot of young men. You're in that sort of party phase, and so you have a wide sample range of how society's moving. And that was the last part of what we understand. And then moving forward, it's just it turned 180 on its head. And now you can't even say, "Hey, you look good tonight."
Nah, that's sexual harassment.
No, it's done, dude. It's done. But the real women, they love that shit. But
Yeah.
they're programmed to not want to receive it. So now they have an inner conflict of, "Hey, I really like what he's saying to
Well,
me,
the only
but
chicks that get
I'm told
mad at
that's
those
wrong."
compliments are these fucking swamp creatures that crawl out. Like they're the ones that have a problem. Like, have you seen the bitch that started the Me Too movement?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
who
yeah.
really tried to take some pussy up out of you? Pretty girls have no problem with getting complimented.
Can we give
Compliment.
can we give
It's
Day Day a shout out here?
is Day Day in
Um,
here?
No, but we'll give him
Okay.
a shout out anyway in case he watches it later. Scallywags. Scallywags.
Scallywags,
That
right?
was that's what he would say. Is that's a scallywag. Um, but there's low value men out there too. So you can't blame certain women for like rejecting men immediately because they get inundated with so much more bullshit than we would ever have to deal with. It's not like every single day we open our inbox and we're just inundated with like beautiful girls that want to be with us.
But it's a
Women, when they
numbers
wake up in the
game
morning,
because dudes are going to be in
yeah,
40 different inboxes
but
seeing.
you can't blame them though for
No,
being
you can't.
skeptical
I
of men
mean,
when they wake up every morning with like, and these dudes are weird. They'll send all kinds of things just trying to
like
say what's up.
unsolicited dick pics, that's weird. I've
Yeah,
never
that's
understood why
crazy.
dudes think that's going to work.
Unsolicited dick pics is actually the name of our new mixtape, which we wanted to actually
Unsolicited
promote
dick
today.
pics, yeah.
No,
I've
but
only
you
sent
see,
2 dick pics in life, and both times my dick was on flaccid. I don't send hard dick pics.
no. You gotta send nudes, and
What? Say that?
you never send hard. You always send flaccid. Actually, that's the T-shirt, Jordan. Send flaccid. That's all it says.
Men have stopped having sex with women in Japan. It stems from what's going on. That's going to happen here. I mean, you got to think about it. Like that's really going to happen here because it's just on top of the bullshit dudes got to deal with. Uh, Basically, Triple X content is in abundance.
Yeah.
Like we're going to hit that point where dudes are not going to be like dudes are always going to love women our generation, but the new generation they're going to be like, man, we don't need you hoes. And it's a sad thing to say because men and women need each other like a motherfucker.
We need each other more than ever.
And I mean, most women aren't having sex with men, yes, because they OnlyFans make $30 a week. That's why. It's cool. It's cool.
I guess it's cool. I don't know.
But
I get caught up
here's
in
some
that.
weird shit about this generation. You see, Bad Baby said the dudes that buy her OnlyFans at 18 are really creeps, even though
Yeah,
she made what 40 million off that shit
40 mil. Yeah, the first week.
the first day.
Yeah, maybe it was with the
Like,
whatever the banking period is what I'm talking about. So
how
40 million. That's a lot.
I give you that. But like, how are these dudes the creeps? And all these women were like, yeah, those guys are creeps. And oh my God, they were predators. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give you that to a sense. Even though she was 18, she might have been posting videos when she was a kid. But
Yeah,
also, do you understand how many naked bitches that you will see daily on Facebook when this is a children's app? You don't think kids don't see you tooting your ass up? So
it's
where's the same
well,
response to that?
the line has been drawn, and it's been drawn for a long time, and the music industry has a lot to do with it, and a lot of like conservative people, like Republicans, would say WAP was that line. To me, I
Yo, chill,
disagree.
nigga.
To me, I disagree. I think that it happened a long time before, but you have 7, 8-year-old girls listening to songs on the radio that are very provocative. And this has been happening for 15, 20 years. So when you think about that amount of time and the progression of that idea, why would it not be normal for a child to see something so explicit?
Because back in the day, to watch BET Uncut, I had to set an alarm, make sure my grandparents weren't up,
Yeah, but my ass, you
have
woke
a
up from a nap
revert
and hit
channel.
last. You
Yeah, I
had
had
to.
to have a last channel. I couldn't just sit on my phone in the middle of the
Yeah,
day in class, swipe through the reels, and somebody shaking their ass. It wasn't that readily available to us like
for
it is
sure.
now.
But that's what I'm talking about, though. That's the progression. So,
So that
to,
makes it better because we progressed.
no, I don't think it makes it better at all. I think it's
Porn was
terrible.
taboo back in the day. Back in the day, there were no free
Yeah,
porn
but
sites. You had to
that's
pay.
as things become more available, as more money is spent, um, values drop. So, if I were to ask you, for $1,000, would you screw over the church in your town, plus the gas station you frequent most often, would you take $1,000 to do that?
To screw them over?
Yeah.
Maybe the church because they
No.
be hustling people for life, but not the
The
gas
answer
station.
the answer would be no. It wouldn't be worth $1,000 for you.
Nah, because church been robbing a lot of people. I'll fuck
But
over a
I'm
church
saying,
for a
so
Popeye sandwich.
let's say I changed that number from 1,000 to 10 million. So let's say it's not the church then. Let's say it's the local comedy clubs that have been working with you and helping you out. And then the local gas station that you frequent most often, your favorite one to go to. If it meant you screwing both of those companies over, would you take $10 million?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So you have values.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
the rest of the world is working on what I just presented to you, but
But
they
are
don't
those
have value.
values or are those principles?
I don't know. Who was our principal at CHS?
No,
It changed over
nigga.
time because
What the fuck are you talking? Are those values, or is that principle? Like the principle of it. These
to me,
people have looked
values
out
and
for me.
principles are the same thing. Like if I have a principle, value is just another word to describe that principle. I think they're both the same thing.
Yeah, I mean they teeter. Synonymous, I guess.
But
Maybe.
you know what I'm saying. So the world now, because of the progression of how we've gotten more desensitized to that type of content, um, every one of them is taking the deal I just presented to you, but none of them have any values. So they wouldn't have said no like you did. You said no because you have values. You say no, I wouldn't fuck over my comedy club. I wouldn't fuck over my local gas station for $10 million. But everyone else in this space is willing to sell.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And so
Yeah.
that's where the culture gets lost a little bit because we have a lot of young men, a lot of young women, a lot of people online here consuming content. And I think it's up to like guys like me and you, who we were the last of the generation to be able to sort of speak to this thing. I think after us, who's going to speak up?
It's gonna be a lost generation, man. And then they try to push these kids to hurry up and fucking make more kids that's gonna be lost.
Yeah,
So yeah, we are the last of a dying breed, like realistically.
yeah.
Because there's no, it's only down from here. We peaked. We were right in between of no internet and then everything readily available.
We literally had rap beefs that the school couldn't understand, but knew there
Yo,
was a problem, but
you
couldn't
are
even log
stupid.
in and figure stuff out.
You
No,
are
I'm
stupid
serious.
as shit. Why are you bringing this up? But
But
nigga,
it's true. We had web pages with diss tracks loaded onto them before MySpace even.
yeah,
Um, where the teachers had no clue. They knew there was animosity because we all had classes together, but they didn't understand what it was and they couldn't figure it out whatsoever. These kids
yeah,
growing up today, everybody knows everything.
yeah.
And we wouldn't rat on each other. It's not like we got called to the principal's office and it was like, no, it is what it is. We had a disagreement, and we would just keep moving and do our thing. Nowadays, it's rat out. We know all the information.
Well,
It's
I
tough.
saw the best other day. This is like what the look at me generation.
Yeah,
Not everything needs to be recorded. There's nothing secret no more.
yeah.
Like that's a shitty thing, man. I knew on MySpace when I saw that chick take that first picture in that locker room and she wasn't in gym class. I knew we was going downhill. So, so only two places you see locker rooms as an adult. You were either about to play a sport or you about to get naked. That's the nigga. That's it.
That's the only two things that
Maybe if you
should
worked at a
happen.
factory job, but this
Yeah.
bitch had on heels and some highlighter shit. And I knew right there we were headed towards the fucking end.
Yeah.
I'm
All right,
just saying.
brother. Well, I appreciate you hopping on and talking to me. I wanted to get through that conversation because I thought you would be most equipped.
Man, I don't even want to say free to top G, man. We'll just see what happens, man. Um,
If he's guilty, I want him to go to jail.
but again, let's remember he's in there for money laundering. It has nothing to do with sex trafficking.
I think it has a lot to do with a lot of things.
A lot, but mainly money laundering.
I agree, but I'm also not going to be a stan and be like, I hope he gets
Free
free.
the Top G. Fuck
No.
it.
Listen, I'm not a tater tot. All right.
Like,
I
look, I
want
was
to.
Team Tory, but he's guilty now, so I'm not gonna root for him because justice was served.
Well, you recently had a tragic experience then, if you were Team Tory, and we could get into that topic later too, because I think there's a lot of controversy there. I'd love to talk about Tory and Megan for sure.
Yeah, I'm done with that, man. I mean,
Yeah,
at the
all
end of
right.
the day, 3 drunk people. It's sad that Megan got shot. If people feel justice was served, who am I to say it wasn't, man? I wasn't there.
For sure. But again, just to close out, we're not big Tate dudes. We're talking about the message to men and wondering how that space will be filled. That was the point of the conversation. And Jordan, thank you so much for fighting me on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for getting me out of my slumber to jump on and do this shit.
Yeah.
But until the
I
next
literally
time,
I called
brother.
Jordan and he was like, I'm ready to go. Actually I'm gonna need like 25 minutes. I was like, all right, yeah.
I
I
ain't moving
told him he
none of
had
this shit
15. He called me
from that
back and
fucking
said, hey, I
weekend,
need
bro.
25.
Yeah, I need 25 nigga minutes, which means 48 to get all this shit taken care of.
Hey, but you look like just look at this guy over here on
Yeah,
the
this
screen.
is
I
that
mean,
heated light. I do have a glow to me. I look like Bruce Leroy right now.
you look incredible, brother. But I appreciate you so much and thanks for having me on. And hopefully we can do this again if people liked it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. We had people tune in tonight, and again, Friday, man. Y'all tune in. 140 characters. Mike will be back. I don't know what guests we're gonna have on, man, but y'all tune in with me. This is 140 quicks. Shout out Maddie BTV. Top G to Top Ramen, man. I hope that nigga know how to make a swollen that bitch. And we out, nigga. Peace.